ticketfm.com.
Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday night at 7 p.m. for Lincoln Southeast versus Lincoln East. Both the Knights and the Spartans look to bounce back after dropping their season openers in week 1. And you can hear all the action unfold with Jay breaking it down alongside me better than anybody else. Kickoff is slated for 7 p.m. from Seacrest Field, but pregame starts at 6:40 p.m. It's high school football and Friday Night Lights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Repeat after me. I will not touch the fuse box.
I will probably not touch the fuse box.
Sip, do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, I remember.
What happened?
Half of the city block lost power.
And?
My chicken condo went haywire.
That's right. The chickens ran wild. So what do we do instead?
Call Joe at Ambition Electric and let him handle everything. Look, saved on speed dial.
Ambition Electric, 402-217-3415 or online at ambitionelectric.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and Bob just wanted to say thank you for a record-setting July here at Koppel. The summer sales event continues in August, and the incentives are crazy good. Check this out. We got 0.9% financing along with a $2,500 trade-in rebate on select new models. You heard right. 0.9% financing has been extended along with a trade-in rebate. Also, our GM-certified used inventory is filling up fast, so make that money-saving drive to Koppel. It's just south of the interstate, or shop online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with roof credit.
Jay Foreman here. Join us on Thursday, August 31st for our pregame show for Nebraska against Minnesota at the Warhorse Casino in Southwest Lincoln. We'll go from 4 p.m. to kickoff at 7 p.m. with the whole ticket crew. Make sure to drop by and see us at the Warhorse Casino.
H&H Roofing, established in 2015, is proud to serve the local area, which includes the tri-state area in Nebraska, Iowa, and South Dakota. H&H Roofing has a professional team that are licensed and bonded, GAF Master Certified Installers, and an insurance-preferred contractor that will work directly with your insurance company. Also a leading roofer, siding, and gutter specialist. H&H Roofing will service all residential, commercial, and agricultural needs. Go to hnhroofs.com for more information or call 402-359-2546.
Join us at this year's Ignite Lincoln 15 at Rococo Theater on Thursday, September 14th for an inspiring night of stories that spark change. Get your tickets at ignitelincoln.org. Don't miss this chance to be a part of something extraordinary.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Tanner's Bar and Grill, Vinny Creekat, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! He's going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Let's get it. Happy Wednesday.
Hey, it's a big day.
Hot.
It's a big day. It's a big day. It's hot on the block today. Man, you're going to get to experience something. I know I'm feeling a little slighted right now. You went out to BP with DP. We had a good time out there. You saved me. You see, it's got some work to do. You saved me. Thought you was my boy, and now all of a sudden you're going to this volleyball game without Stricky. I'm not happy about it. Just wanted to let you know.
Let me apologize on air. Had I known Stricky wasn't taken care of, I would have seen what I could have done. But this is the first I'm hearing about it.
It's a great comeback. Great comeback.
I don't have as many strings to pull as you do, though.
Those who are listening, I'm just going to lay down the gauntlet. And the gauntlet is, it is Wednesday, and Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul is open. So I need that sweet Southern heat. I need that. That's going to make it up. You can take care of your boy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Go out there, Pine Lake, 27th and Pine Lake. Head out there, get with them. They are one of the sponsors of our show, as well as Sutter Heyman Jewelers for streaming and this platform that we happen to be on where you can actually see us, not just hear us. There you go.
Make Strick's day, go down to Mary Ellen's, come to the station. That's your plan. Keep us on in the car. That's the plan. That's what you do.
Shout out to oh gosh, forgot his name. Oh gosh, I forgot the winner. But yesterday, shout out to you for winning the prize on the NBA number yesterday.
Newt. Hope you enjoyed the Salt Dogs.
Hope you enjoyed the Salt Dogs game. It ended up being a beautiful night. So if you did get a chance to go out to the Salt Dog game, wow, what a wonderful night it was to sit out there in the open air, taking all the breeze, and hopefully it was a good game.
Great night for it. Another great night tonight, Strick, for volleyball night in Nebraska. What's the largest crowd you remember playing in front of? 20s, thousands?
I would have to say in the NBA, when the San Antonio Spurs were hot, this is before they had the new arena. They were still playing in the Alamo Dome. So it could get pretty big. I can't remember the exact size. I want to say it could have been upwards of 30,000, maybe.
Woo.
20, 30,000. Definitely mid-20s. But I'll have to look that up and get a word back to you on. We did play in the Orange Dome. I've got to say, is it the Orange Dome?
Carrier Dome for Syracuse?
Carrier Dome. I've got to say that experience in the Carrier Dome set the tone for what it was going to be for me as far as being able to play in those types of arenas. My gosh, the depth perception is real. Because normally in an arena, you're used to kind of just having the stands or the seats or whatever behind the arena. It's short distance, so it kind of monitors your depth perception. Boy, in the Carrier Dome, it was like spread forever, and literally it messed up your depth perception for shooting as well.
And there's some places that are not even open. They have to block it off for basketball games. They don't even let fans sit there, but that doesn't help. And that's something the volleyball girls are going to have to get used to. That's why I'm glad they had practices out there to be able to start to judge that. But I'm sure it's different too, Strick, a shoot around in front of an empty gym, and then you get into game action and the stands are filled.
What is the easiest thing to do in the open air? I would venture to say probably boxing.
Yeah.
Now, I think boxing only because depends on the temperature. Too hot, too humid, that can cause some issues because now you whether you're dealing with your weight and you're dropping weight, you regain. Now you have a lot of water. There could be a lot of things that can happen depending on what the temperatures are, right? So I think that would be one thing. I think golf is tough because dealing with the winds, the elements, playing in cold, rain, all those things that can change the dynamics of the green, your landing, wind. Also, there's a lot to go into it. I think golf is tough. I would venture to say though, football obviously is only really tough when you're passing and you're kicking. It depends, but basketball or volleyball, because you've got a set. So if it ends up being windy in Memorial Stadium, or it ends up kind of, you're having drafts, or just think of what setting's going to be like, because setting requires touch, requires great skill, touch, precision of placement, knowing where the blockers are, what the blockers like to do, where they're coming from. So a set to an outside hitter, you want to put it in a certain place so they have angles. But if winds are there, that could cause a little bit of problem.
Try to set your outside hitter and it ends up all the way over your head at your right side hitter.
Yeah. So basketball games out there I mean, I've played in outside courts. I mean, it's very white man can't jump type for me, where you take a piece of the hair and you throw it up and you let it's just gonna wiggle a little bit to the right, and then you shoot, and it's crazy because sometimes you literally have to shoot to the left and hope that the arc takes it to you. Man, difficulty, but we're hoping that the ladies are going to have a great experience. We're hoping that the record does get broke tonight, right here in Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska. Let's get it started.
Volleyball's expecting 91,000. Capacity is 88-ish, give or take, but they added some seats on the field. You played at Nebraska. Are you surprised Nebraska fans are going to show up for this?
Not surprised at all. I'll never be surprised at Nebraska fans at what they're capable of, how good they are. Some of the most respectful fans. I mean, I've played in places, in arenas, both in college and in the NBA, that the fans are terrible. Like they're they're horrible. And then you wonder why things like the Malice in the Palace happen. You can understand it, but when you get a chance to be in the arenas and the things that are said and so forth and so on. Now, I'm not going to go as far as say I'm that guy like LeBron or Chris Paul, and I'm trying to get people kicked out of the game. You gotta have some, you gotta have tough skin. I mean, there's one thing that we talk about is blocking out the environment, blocking out the white noise, blocking out anything that would try to hinder or keep you from doing the job that you're called on to do. That's at the free throw line. That's wherever you are. That's shooting threes. It happens even shooting threes. You find yourself in the corner of the opposing team. They're right behind you, at your heels, nipping at your thighs, pinch, faking like they're going to pinch you, yelling, screaming, all of this when you're shooting corner threes. You got to be able to block that out because you got to knock the shot down. So I think this is going to be a tremendous experience for the ladies. It's one that's going to be one that's memorable, that they will never forget what happened. And I know that the fans of Nebraska will show up. And it doesn't surprise me again, because I remember vividly coming to games, and we were a new established team. We wasn't even the rock stars. I mean, we probably at that time was doing Nebraska just turned the corner. So, then the basketball team had just like broke through the top 10,
but still on
the year
come
before
up.
I got, but it was on the rise. And when the fans were showing up, man, and sleeping outside for tickets, I was blown away. It blew me away, and I'll never forget it. Well, I got one more.
Okay.
There's one more story that why this does not surprise me at what's going to happen at Memorial Stadium tonight. Winning the Big Ten, not Big Ten, the Big 8 tournament down in Kansas City, going through Oklahoma, beating Missouri, who was undefeated that year, getting revenge on them, and facing the team that ended up going to go to the Final Four that year, which was Big Country and Okie State, beating them to win the Big 8 tournament. That was a tremendous experience, but was even greater in that experience, and why I know the stadium is going to be filled. On the return, the minute we crossed the border from Kansas to Nebraska, both sides of the highway going home were laced with people.
Wow.
All the way, I'm talking about beeping, the placards and, boards and all that stuff. All the way, I'm telling you, it was laced all the way from the border of Nebraska with people to Devaney. And then Devaney was dang near almost full.
What'd that mean to you?
It touched my heart deeply. And I would say this, being a senior, when I became a senior, and I cried when I left, because I knew that I'd given everything that I had, to the floor on Devaney and for this state and for Nebraska. And so it touched me that I was able to have that relationship with the fans, the fan base, and I think that the ladies will do the same.
Any advice for the girls tonight as they experience it?
Don't get caught in the moment. Just go in, and you've prepared for this moment. This is nothing other than just a bigger venue. It's the same thing. You've played in national championships. You've been in big arenas, big stadiums. Just go and do what you do.
He's Eric Strickland. I'm Austin Norman. This is On the Block here on 93.7 The Ticket. Strick, the text line's calling you out for not going. Thunder Nut Collins says he texted in multiple times since Friday that he had a hookup for tickets.
Oh, shoot. I haven't seen it. I apologize, Thunder Nut Collins. I'll get with you on the line. Tickets to Colorado? To the game? Day. To the volleyball game?
Volleyball day.
Oh, shoot, Thunder Nut Collins. Listen, brother, I apologize. I would I would have participated. I'm going to be honest, though. I have a flight at 5 a.m, so right. I am literally got to pack and still got stuff to do. Even though I want to go, I'm probably going to be sitting with a glass of wine in my flip-flops, packing a bag, taking a drink, watching the game, watching the match. Sit back down, get back up, pack a little more. That's gonna be my routine tonight, man.
Watch a point, pack a shirt,
man. There you
Watch
go.
a point, pack a shirt, take a sip.
That's what's gonna be happening tonight, man. Literally, I got probably be up at like 3 a.m. tomorrow.
Sheesh.
Be on the first thing smoking out of here, and possible, the travel warnings and stuff. It has moved up a little bit, but still, you never know what's gonna happen when you kind of dealing with airplanes and air flights and stuff like that. Lord willing, I make it safely.
Absolutely. So volleyball day in Nebraska is tonight, but Husker football is tomorrow. We got plenty of football headlines to get to, but Strick, this is an action-packed, really, 24 hours for Husker fans, from the first serve against Omaha, the Mavericks tonight, to kickoff against Minnesota tomorrow. It really feels like fall sports are here. We get our first full-ish week of college football. We have a big Husker volleyball event. I know their season started and some other fall sports have as well. This is a jam-packed 24, 48 hours for Husker fans. And you assume they're still going to have some left in the tank for Minnesota tomorrow.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. I would think so. It's going to be exciting. It's just an exciting week. It's already, it's time to get started. Everything that you've prepared for, worked for, put yourself in position to do is now here. So let's get out and get it done.
I got a number of questions I want to ask you. We might not get to all of them this segment, but text line, comment section, hotline, these are all available for you as well. So the first question I have for you, Strick, as it relates to Husker football. What are you most excited about for Husker football year one under Matt Rule?
Answering the questions that I have in my mind. There's so many questions that I have. Last night on WTF, Klesser and I kind of jumped into it. We're talking in depth about this matchup, different matchups that are going to be going on. Obviously, you got Florida State, LSU. You have Colorado, TSU. So we kind of dug into all of those last night, and we got into Minnesota, Nebraska, and there's some that have consistently and constantly drunk the tea and the Kool-Aid and the wine. Once the tea was kind of done, and over with, you shifted to the Kool-Aid, and then the Kool-Aid's too sweet. Now it's time for the wine. Dang, it's too dry, right? So we done all of that over these years, and it's very similar to I would say the Cowboys, and how you get your mind up only for them to let you down. You know what I'm saying? And I really do. I'm optimistic about this team. A lot of the things that I was hoping to see get better in some areas did, but there's still a lot of uncertainties. And again, I'm going to speak to the uncertainties for me is what I want to see. One, I want to see separation. When I'm saying separation, I'm talking about in the trenches on the defensive end. I want to see walls in the gaps, separations on the end, and focus and doing your job in making sure that we're a unified group as we attack the offense. Okay. On the backside, I want to see discipline. I want to see you don't come off your zone. If you're safety, you're deep zone, you're in a cover 3 or cover 2, whatever it is, you have deep middle third, deep right third or whatever, depending on which safety you are. I want to make sure you're there. I don't want to see a tight end coming across the middle on a deep dig, 15-yard dig, you bite, and then you have a receiver going deep upfield because in your mind, you're like, I'm going to go make a play. No, do your job. You're the deepest third. The deepest man is there. You know what I'm saying? You need to be back there. I don't want to see those type of mistakes. And so that's something that I want to see. I want to make sure that Jeff Sims I want to see accuracy. I want to see accuracy out of Jeff Sims. I want to make sure that the guys, again, on the release as receivers, I want to see them be able to create space. If they can't create space, there's going to be a long season because Jeff is just, he's not pinpoint accurate. And there's been talk out of the camp that a lot of the throws that he's making the wide open ones, but it's the ones where there's a little window where you maybe got to throw it a little low to make sure you keep it away from the hand or the defender or the defender's behind for a potential interception. The throw maybe got to be on the back shoulder as opposed in the front because you've got the cornerback squatting on, an in route or a slant route. And, you may have a little fake slant go to a stop. You need to be able to throw it on that weak shoulder, right? So those are the things I want to see out of Jeff Sims. I want to see movement on the offensive line. I'm not stalemates.
Not standing in place, not getting pushed back.
I want to see movement. I want to see vitriol when you pull down that line, I want to see your eyes like, who's about to get this smoke? You know what I'm saying? So if I don't see those things, those are some of the things that are going to those are some of the things that I'm going to be watching and observing for the football team.
I think Quinn on the YouTube stream said something very similar to what you were thinking. Discipline. Right? When you're talking about the safeties, when you're talking about the offensive line, right? If they're going to be angry, you still have to be under control, right? You can't be committing stupid penalties. You can't be going so hard you forget to do your job. Discipline's huge. That's been something that's been lacking for Nebraska football consistently for too long. So again, text line, let us
turnovers.
You
must. This year has got to be a year, if you want to have success, you've got to win the turnover battles. You've lost that for
6-7 straight years.
At least 6-7. You've lost that. So you need to be on the positive side of the turnover battle. Because let's be real. Just across the border, there's a team called the Iowa Hawkeyes whose offense has been dismal over the last few years, outside of a few spurts in the wide receivers, running game. But they've been dismal.
So bad,
right? But their defense has caused turnovers, interceptions, fumbles. They've won those battles. They put their offense, that's a dismal offense, in positive territories as far as just short fields. You have short fields now to work from, and it gives them an opportunity where they're only completing field goals, and then they're winning those games, those 10-3s, those. Whereas on the other hand, Nebraska's losing those one-score games, at a crazy rate. So that's something that we need to make sure we have.
Because you have fewer possessions. You're giving them away. You take the ball out of your hands. Text line, let us know what you're most excited about first for this Husker football season. We got 3 other questions we'll get to at some point, but we're going to take our first break of the show, talk some a little bit of volleyball, maybe some baseball, but mostly Husker football with Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald on the other side.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Vershawn Jackson for Brandt Excavating. Brandt's been in business for 29 years, and they specialize in a variety of things. If you're looking for someone to get the job done in precision demolition, excavating, trucking, mass grading, and site prep, Brandt is the place to call. To set up a quote or learn more, call Brandt Excavating at 402-474-4113 or go to BrandtExcavating.com. They're also hiring, so join the team today. Brandt Excavating, a part of the Bauer brand, who reminds you, go Big Brand!
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627. Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday night at 7 p.m. for Lincoln Southeast versus Lincoln East. Both the Knights and the Spartans look to bounce back after dropping their season openers in week 1. And you can hear all the action unfold with Jay breaking it down alongside me better than anybody else. Kickoff is slated for 7 p.m. from Seacrest Field, but pregame starts at 6:40 p.m. It's high school football and Friday Night Lights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jay Foreman here. Join us on Thursday, August 31st for our pregame show for Nebraska against Minnesota at the Warhorse Casino in Southwest Lincoln. We'll go from 4 p.m. to kickoff at 7 p.m. with the whole ticket crew. Make sure to drop by and see us at the Warhorse Casino.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Ready to upgrade your combine with new technology to make your harvest more efficient, meaning more money in your pocket? The team at Landmark Implement is here to help find the right combine for harvest. Plus, when you purchase a pre-owned combine from Landmark, you are backed by Landmark's extensive parts and service network, along with mobile techs and parts drop-off points to keep you up and running, reducing downtime. View inventory online at landmarkimp.com or stop by your local Landmark to experience the Landmark difference.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador. Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Beef, Yours Cheese Spread on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com, worldwide on our free app for your phones, as well as Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Also, Allo Channel 951 if you're an Allo subscriber. Speaking of Allo, they sponsor our VIP line with Allo Fiber, where we understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We head to our VIP line and welcome in Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. Evan, a busy couple days for those of you on the Nebraska Athletics various beats. Are you downtown waiting for Volleyball Day in Nebraska already?
I am, Austin. Yeah, I'm on campus this afternoon. I went to the rally at the NU Coliseum a little bit earlier, which was really neat. And it's starting to feel like a football home game, quite honestly. You got the vendors out, the paraphernalia is out. You can buy shirts. It's a really cool day, and the weather's cooperating. And I have no idea what day it is, but I guess it's a Wednesday.
That's what we're being told. We talked to you last on Friday. It is our normal day, Wednesday here. Take us inside the Coliseum. What was that like? What was the mood like from John Cook, the players, and the fans?
Yeah, it was really cool. There were hundreds, certainly, of people, probably more than 1,000 packed into the Coliseum. They had bead booths set up. You could make posters. You could write little messages to the players and then clip them onto a net that was hanging up. And then the players and John Cook came in, and it got loud, man. It felt like it was, a big Big 12 match in 2008 at the Coliseum or something. But, John Cook spoke a little bit. He got choked up multiple times just talking about, the impact of this day and the people that it's affecting and, the people who have contributed to allowing it to happen. So, really, really heartfelt. And I know it meant a lot to the players too, who posed for some photos and read the messages that were on the net. And then they went on and did their other stuff too. But, I think it was just as meaningful for the fans that showed up and were able to soak in the moment, a little bit of tradition, certainly with the venue. And then I think obviously, just excitement for what's to come later tonight.
How do you put an event like this? I'm going to say the all-day event, not just the game tonight, but from the whole press tour, the rally today, the game tonight, all the hype surrounding this event. How do you put that in perspective for John Cook and his legacy in the sport of volleyball?
Well, I think it's a reminder that you can't, not just anybody could have pulled this off. Like the fact that he's been at Nebraska as long as as he has been, the fact that they've won consistently at the level that they have, his influence in the volleyball community, like all that contributes to this big step that they took. And it was a risk. And he said it again at his press conference on Tuesday. Like this was something that there was no sure thing. He'd never gone through it before. He didn't know, maybe they would have gotten 30,000 people. Maybe they wouldn't have sold out. Like, you never know, because it's an unprecedented sort of thing. And I think the other cool thing that's come out of this, at least the lead up to this event, has been, more of a documentation, of just how far the sport, the program have come, certainly under his leadership. But I mean, you think back to 1975 when they're playing in front of 20 people at Mabel Lee, and then they go to the Coliseum and start the sellout streak in 2001, and now this thing tonight. So I think it's a reminder too that this is not sort of an artificial crowd. Like, this has been organically growing for decades and decades, and this is just that next big step. And I think, ultimately, if Nebraska volleyball goes on and wins a national championship this year, I don't know that that's going to be remembered any more than just sort of this event and this celebration that's been going on, for months.
I'm glad you brought that up. That's where I wanted to go next. I heard a similar sort of sentiment on the Pick Six podcast you did with Sam and Tom.
Yeah.
Is it good for this team to get an event like this out of the way early? Would this be better at a different time? I mean, obviously, with the weather, you have to, get it in as early as you can. But an event of this magnitude, how do you think this helps Nebraska as it, travels into a challenging end of its non-conference slate?
Well, it'll be interesting because they have a pretty, like you said, challenging group of teams coming up. And I think for a lot of people, you were circling this date, and rightfully so, but it'll be really interesting to sort of turn the page tomorrow, the next day, and sort of look ahead to what's going on. And Cook was asked about that same thing yesterday, and his thought was like, man, this thing is so different from anything else that it's almost sort of a standalone kind of event. Like the match itself is whatever against UNO. I think it's pretty likely that they'll sweep, though you never know. But it's just such a unique venue, such a unique experience. Obviously, the players have been going around a little bit, at least earlier today, and interacting with fans, and so that's different. But I think probably there's this idea that if you get into a big match with Stanford, or heck, if you get into the end of the Big Ten season and you have a big match with Wisconsin, like, what's left that sort of leaves you wide-eyed or jittery or nervous about what's to come? Like, this is that sort of thing, running out of a football tunnel in front of, whatever it's going to be, 90,000 people. So I think, people, if you play at Nebraska, you already know it's a big deal. You already play in front of sellout crowds. This just sort of ups that ante, and yeah, we'll see how, what kind of effect maybe that has on some big matches coming up down the road.
Just to add on to that, Evan, what's your thoughts about the flex of it, right? Everybody is trying to figure out, come up with a plan on how to not just one up, but to get leverage or to be able to get ahead in the recruiting game. You understand what I'm saying? So would you say this is just like one of those times where Nebraska is really just trying to flex to put themselves on a pedestal, to where people, when they're looking at them, or recruits, when they're showcasing this? I would be playing this in every recruiting visit in the like a little hype video or something like that, just to show what Nebraska is really about. Do you feel that this is just like one of those things, a major flex?
It's become that, for sure. I know there were a lot of nerves in the administration, athletic department for a while, and the early planning stages. But I think now, at this point, it's absolutely a flex. I mean, you want to get everything out there you can on social media. What compares to this, quite honestly, right? Like, Wisconsin's your national champion from last year, but like, what? I mean, it's a totally different stratosphere with what's going to happen tonight. And I think that's, part of it too is just Nebraska was pushed a little bit when they lost the attendance record last year to Wisconsin. People around here took that personally. They said, no, that needs to get back here. And it wasn't going to happen at PBA. They didn't have the capacity to do it. And so they dreamed a little bit bigger. And you look at the NCAA match attendance records, and it's like Nebraska, and down the list. And now they're going to get that top spot again. It's a major NIL deal, I know, for players with some of the things being sold today and appearances and things like that. Like, that's a major deal too. And so, yeah, I mean, it's sort of an intersection of a program that's at its height, at the top of its game, and a fan base that's, embracing it and right along with it. And so this wouldn't happen anywhere else. I mean, it just couldn't. Nebraska hasn't won a title in a few years, but nobody else has the support that Nebraska does. And if this doesn't net them a few recruits, I can't imagine what possibly would.
From a Nebraska volleyball flex to Nebraska football going up to take on the Minnesota Fightin' Flex, also known as the Golden Gophers. Are you heading up to the Twin Cities for that one on Thursday too, Evan?
First of all, fantastic transition.
Thank you.
Yes, heading out in the morning, and in a perfect world, there maybe would have been a day in between, so fans could get up to the football game and kind of enjoy Minneapolis. But yeah, I'll be heading out in the morning.
So the one thing that stands out to me, I mean, we've ad nauseum gone over the players and the schemes for Nebraska and Minnesota, but something that I'm interested to watch, Evan, maybe we can tell in the first game, maybe we can't, is how Nebraska football responds to adversity. So often it's felt like one thing goes wrong and you can see or feel that's where the unraveling is going to start. From watching fall camp, or maybe more accurately from listening to coaches and players, do you think Nebraska's on the right path to fixing that mindset?
I think so. And we'll find out. Like, it seems that way. It's certainly been an emphasis from Matt Rule and the coaching staff to the players. That's one of the things that's so interesting about this game, I think, is that you kind of get an early sense of like, okay, a lot of the returners on this roster have been through so many situations where one play has snowballed and they've never been able to recover. The staff is so confident, on the other hand, that they can win the fourth quarter and that they get stronger as they go along. So which side shows up Thursday night in Minneapolis? And if it's the latter, if they're able to lean on the run game, if they're able to, shake off a busted coverage or a turnover or something and bounce back, then I think that's one of the signs that the culture that you talk about, that intangible piece, maybe is taking effect a little bit. And I thought, what Matt Rule said a couple days ago, just about this idea of like, he's never going to talk about starting fast. I think that applies to this game. I think that applies to just the mindset of this team. And he's right? Like you think about this season at large, eventually you're going to judge this thing not on how they do against Minneapolis or against Minnesota, but they're going to judge it based on how the second half of the season goes. Are they playing meaningful football into November? Are they getting better? Are they closing with momentum? And so it seems like they bought into that, but again, even Matt Rule doesn't know if that's actually the case until things go live tomorrow night.
Everything I'm seeing and hearing from prognosticators, from Vegas spreads and everything, most people are saying this is going to be a low scoring game, lower 20s to upper teens sort of affair. Say that's the case. Do you think that's credit to Tony White and Joe Rossi, the defensive coordinators, and their players? Will it be more blame on the offenses for not being ready to go? A mix of both? How do you judge these two teams?
Yeah, I think it's a mix of both. Minnesota is breaking in a new full-time quarterback. Their star running back from the past 6 years is gone. So a lot of their line, same sort of deal. They're going to have to be doing it with some different guys. Same thing with Nebraska with Jeff Sims, as dynamic as he is. We haven't seen how that plays out at Nebraska. An offensive line at Nebraska that still needs to prove itself. So I don't know that you feel super confident that either of these teams are going to move up and down the field, both on personnel and how they just philosophically want to rely on the run game and maybe shorten things out with long possessions. But yeah, I mean, I think the other side of it is also true, where Nebraska's got multiple guys who are in those single digit jerseys who have played a lot of football. Luke Reimer and Nick Henrich and Quentin Newsome and Ty Robinson. Like these are playmakers who've done it before and done it at a high level. And so I think kind of that combination of this is what those guys have back defensively, the uncertainty on the offense and just the way that they play. I mean, I'm in agreement. I think, your winner may score 24 points tomorrow night. That's kind of the type of game I'm expecting to see.
I think also throughout the offseason, as excited as people are for a regime change, I think there's been a lot more pump the brake talk, a lot more pause taken, a lot more, questions being asked about this roster on both sides of the ball. Let's flip that on its head. If you were looking at this Nebraska roster going up to Minnesota tomorrow, what do you see on Nebraska's roster that fans can be confident in for Nebraska that gives them a shot to win the game?
Well, I think that I think defensively is where you start again. Like, I'll be really curious to see if some of those established veterans that Nebraska has are going to be a little more free to make plays. I was struck by something Luke Reimer said at Big Ten Media Days, which was, in this scheme, you're still going to have your assignments and your keys, but it also allows you and frees you up to go and just be a baller and make some plays. And I think Nebraska has guys that fits well in, whether that's, Reimer or Henrich or Bullock or your outside linebackers, Sherman and Borders. I think they have a lot of guys who can wreak some havoc. And, again, Minnesota's no world beater offensively, or at least it doesn't appear to be. So I think I would start with that. And, I think the style of offense that they're going to play will also be conducive to a lower scoring game, whether that's just leaning on the run, whether that's not asking too much of Jeff Sims to freelance in the backfield. And of course that exposes you to turnovers and things like that. So I think, that's where I would start. And again, like the culture piece, the mindset, the sort of what's next, win the next rep sort of mentality, that seems to be having an effect on this group. Like you hear it in interviews all the time. And so we'll see. Again, like you're not going to play a perfect game. Minnesota's going to have its moments, but it does feel like for the first time in a long time that Nebraska maybe mentally too is going to be prepared to handle that and punch back and adjust.
Okay, Evan, we've touched on volleyball. We've touched on football. You're also on baseball, jack of all trades, master of all for the Omaha World Herald. Did get a question from the text line I want to throw your way, just, because fall ball is going on for the Huskers. Heavy asks, with the new teams coming into the Big Ten, how does that affect the Big Ten tournament, and how does that affect the likelihood of Nebraska making regionals?
Well, there's not been any resolution on what the Big Ten tournament would look like. Right now, it's 8 out of 13 make the tournament. So you're going to have 17, with the change. Obviously, Wisconsin doesn't feel that's a situation that's going to be totally reset. I think the commissioner of the Big Ten, Tony Petitti, who has a Major League Baseball background, will have a say in that. I think that could be a good thing for the sport and the sport with the Big Ten. And yeah, I think ultimately, like, one thing that's held back Nebraska the last few years is if you don't make hay in the non-conference, it's really hard to improve your strength of schedule during Big Ten play. And when you talk about adding Oregon, which was a postseason team, Washington, which has been good, obviously UCLA has been a national seed a number of times in the last decade. USC's got the most decorated history of any team in the sport. Like, all that certainly does help. And I think you'll probably see the Big Ten get creative with its scheduling. Maybe they'll do some sort of, pod weekends like they did during the pandemic season, but it's really all kind of laid out there. The canvas is blank, so to speak, and it'll be fascinating to see how they bring that together. But I do think it's a positive for Nebraska baseball overall.
It's Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald with us on our Allo VIP line. Evan, a busy couple days. Enjoy volleyball day tonight. Hope you can catch a little bit of a nap on your way up to Minneapolis. Safe travels. Appreciate your time on a busy day.
Hey, you got it, guys. Thanks.
There he is, Evan Bland with us on our Allo VIP line, brought to you by Allo Fiber, where we understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We'll take our second break of the hour. When we get back, a couple different things we could dive into. An NBA ref announces his retirement. A funny saga going on there. And college football in theaters. Will that be coming to you soon? We'll dive into that and more as we continue hour one of On the Block.
When you think of places with tons of great beer selections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversation should start and end with Bearschen Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you're sure to find something you like. And don't forget their Nashville hot chicken sandwich or any of their delicious hamburgers. Start off with the warm house-made pretzels and you're on to a great day at Bearschen Beer Garden in the heart of Benson in Omaha.
IT projects piling up again? Managing IT can definitely be frustrating. Whether you have an in-house IT department or you manage it yourself, let Hamilton be your experts. At Hamilton, we take the frustration out of your business tech issues with managed IT solutions. We specialize in co-managed and fully managed IT. Does your business need better managed IT? Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Ironhide Construction has an immediate opening for an administrative assistant in their Lincoln office. The ideal candidate will have experience performing a variety of general office, administrative, and clerical duties. If you have excellent communication, interpersonal, and organizational skills, and are the type of person who enjoys keeping track of all the fine details, then this job is for you. Learn more online at ironhideconstruction.com/careers. Ironhide Construction. Quality buildings and genuine service at a reasonable price.
Join us at this year's Ignite Lincoln 15 at Rococo Theater on Thursday, September 14th for an inspiring night of stories that spark change. Get your tickets at ignitelincoln.org. Don't miss this chance to be a part of something extraordinary. Arnold's Tavern in Havelock is the place to be this summer and the best place in town for shuffleboard. Come on Wednesdays and learn from some of the best players in town for the Shuffleboard Corner. Come on Sundays for Open House League all day starting at 11 a.m. and enjoy $3 tall boys and $3 wells. Shake off the start to the work week with karaoke on Monday nights. And don't forget, happy hour is every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and you are always welcome to bring in your own food. Arnold's Tavern in the heart of Havelock.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies, but it will be hazy and smoky today. We'll see an afternoon high of around 87. Night partly cloudy and hazy with a low of around 63. And tomorrow we'll see most sunny skies again with lingering smoke and haze. High should be around 86. Meteorologist Kyle Carter, 93.7 The Ticket, and theticketfm.com.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Service Ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Sauter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you have concerns about your drinking water, just call Bryant. If your water doesn't look right, smell right, or taste right, Bryant can help. If your water has high levels of iron, Bryant can help. If you're tired of foggy dishes and dingy clothes, Bryant can help. Whatever your home water needs are, Bryant is here with a solution to fit your needs. Be sure about your water. Just call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
General contractors, business owners, property owners. The success of your business requires doing business with the right people. And the right people, when it comes to drywall, acoustical ceilings, and specialty products, are at Premier Drywall. Kevin and his crew will give your project the response and attention it deserves.
You'll get all of the attention to detail and quality that you would expect from someone who's been in the business for 30 years. For your new builds, build-outs, or renovations, reach out to Kevin. Kevin at premierdw.com. Premier Drywall in Lincoln.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Summer is near. Now's the time to clean or replace your furnace filter to get the most out of your AC. Find energy-saving tips at les.com/save-energy.
Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday night at 7 p.m. for Lincoln Southeast versus Lincoln East. Both the Knights and the Spartans look to bounce back after dropping their season openers in week 1. And you can hear all the action unfold with Jay breaking it down alongside me better than anybody else. Kickoff is slated for 7 p.m. from Seacrest Field, but pregame starts at 6:40 p.m. It's high school football and Friday Night Lights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Oh, we're back on the block. Austin Norman and Eric Strickland with you. Strick, you sent this my way. We got just a couple minutes here to get into it before the top of the hour. I think we talked about this when it came out. NBA ref Eric Lewis officially retired. He was out in the blogosphere on social media for having a burner Twitter account. He was outed about it. The league found out. They're doing a review. Well, he retires and the league drops the review.
Yeah,
that's funny to me.
Yeah, it's you know that the thing about some things like that. Now, this is alleged, and this is not anything that we can say definitively. But when you see sometimes things like that happen, there's some things on the line. What's on the line? Retirement. The man's been a NBA referee, and the retirement is good for over 20-something years. So I would venture to say that there's been some conversations, there's been some talks, just like the NBA, as we talked about, with that number is really a close-knit fraternity of brothers. The referee community is the same. They're a bunch of close-knit brothers. They've been through the fire together. You know, it's 3 of them against the world because it's 3 against them against the team, and against the stadium on the offense. Every time you do something or you make a call, 50 of them is going to hate you and 50 of them is going to love you. So they've all been in that battle. And so when you look at that, I believe there to be conversations as to why this things happens. I'm getting back on track to that. There's conversations in the background, in the back office or in the closet that are basically letting you know, my boy, you might want to jump ship
before you get pushed up.
Because there's some rumbling up there that you might need to walk the plank. and if you have to walk the plank, they're not taking you just to open water. They're taking you to where the sharky's at.
Good job.
You know what I'm saying? Then make you jump. So I would advise you to just go ahead and retire, my boy, so you can retain the services that you have provided. And because when you think about it, right, is there really anything integral that he did? No. Is there anything that he did like Donaghy to, affect the game in any way? No. He's just found a way to circumvent or go around the bend the rules of social interaction to basically defend his cases. Okay, there's really nothing wrong with that, but the optics of it don't look great. So there you go. And that's why I think he then bows out. By bowing out, this is where everything goes to the great good night.
Good career for Eric Lewis. Wish him the best. We'll see who takes his place.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. He was like literally one of my when I was in G League training to referee. He was one of my mentors.
Did he call a good game?
I think E. Lewis, did the best that he could, man. When given the opportunities, obviously he wasn't always at the top of the scale. They have a scale and rating systems that are pretty in depth and detail. I mean, when you really look at them, actually, you can go on the NBA.com and you can figure out where they tell you, missed non-call or missed. They give a breakdown by minute of the thing. Yeah, minute by minute, like the whole game of the referee.
That's 48 minutes.
I'm telling you, it's crazy. But every call you make, every decision you make are very highly scrutinized. And so my thing is always been watch certain games when certain things you hope and want to happen need to happen. That's when you'll see certain referees, to me, that are in certain games. But I'm not saying nothing. I'm just saying something.
I get you. I feel you. We'll leave it at that. We'll head into hour 2 of On the Block, get back to some college football talk. I asked one of the questions for Nebraska football. What are you most excited about? I got 3 more I want to get to. D-Ron, we see you on the Starter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685. Again, let us know, text line, what are you most excited for Husker football? And I'll ask you a couple more questions, get Strick's answers, give my own when we get into hour 2 of On the Block next.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
When you think of places with tons of great beer selections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversation should start and end with Bärschen Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you're sure to find something you like. And don't forget their Nashville hot chicken sandwich or any of their delicious hamburgers. Start off with the warm house-made pretzels and you're on to a great day at Bärschen Beer Garden in the heart of Benson in Omaha.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
IT projects piling up again? Managing IT can definitely be frustrating. Whether you have an in-house IT department or you manage it yourself, let Hamilton be your experts. At Hamilton, we take the frustration out of your business tech issues with managed IT solutions. We specialize in co-managed and fully managed IT. Does your business need better managed IT? Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Summer is near. Now's the time to clean or replace your furnace filter to get the most out of your AC. Find energy-saving tips at les.com/save-energy.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and they've scouted out the best Kawasaki side-by-side deals for you. Score up to $2,500 off the 2023 Kawasaki Terex and up to $1,000 off Mule Pro FX and FXCs. Whether you want to handle the toughest task in a trusted, tried and true mule or looking to dominate adventure in a Terex, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of Kawasaki side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down. Offer valid through 9/30/2023. Subject to change without notice. Offer available on approved purchases of select new unregistered Kawasaki vehicles. Model and year exclusions apply. Cannot be combined with promotional retail financing rates.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Sauter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today. I'm ready. Burgers? Check. Chips? Check. Icy cold beer? Check. Except this one. I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread? I can't stop eating it. Rico, relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today. Found in most local grocery stores.
Jay Foreman here. Join us on Thursday, August 31st for our pregame show for Nebraska against Minnesota at the Warhorse Casino in Southwest Lincoln. We'll go from 4 p.m. to kickoff at 7 p.m. with the whole ticket crew. Make sure to drop by and see us at the Warhorse Casino.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Hey, moms and dads, bring the whole crew to a Salt Dogs baseball game and unleash the fun. Visit Haymarket Park all summer for fireworks Fridays, souvenir Saturdays, Sunday family fun days, and more. With 50 home games, even weekdays can be unforgettable. Planning an event? Make it a home run with group discounts. When you need an outing the whole family will enjoy, unleash the fun with the Salt Dogs. Call 402-474-2255 or visit saltdogs.com for tickets.
Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday night at 7 p.m. for Lincoln Southeast versus Lincoln East. Both the Knights and the Spartans look to bounce back after dropping their season openers in week 1. And you can hear all the action unfold with Jay breaking it down alongside me better than anybody else. Kickoff is slated for 7 p.m. from Seacrest Field, but pregame starts at 6:40 p.m. It's high school football and Friday Night Lights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three. He's going to go out of here. That's the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Hour 2 of the show. Getting ready to send you out to Barry's. That's where DP and J will be for today.
Oh, we need some milk.
Is that so? Is that so?
Barry's. Let's get out there. Barry's is a classic. It has always been the classic location for where things need to get done for preparation and after parties for wins. We need wins this year, Austin.
Dubs.
We need dubs. Nothing less than
Victories.
dubs is not going to be jumping off the way that we'd be jumping off at Barry's without the wins. We need wins.
The biggest dub in Lincoln, located at 27th and Pine Lake, Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul.
Yeah, you can always get out to Mary Ellen's. Lasagna. Charles, say hello to them and let them know that us here from On the Block sent them down there to have a good sweet heat, sweet Southern heat. I'm telling you, go out there and get it. Let them know we sent you, and they'll take good care of you.
D-Ron on the text line, we asked the question, what are you most excited about for the Nebraska football season this year? D-Ron says he's excited about winning the Big Ten West.
Oh, gosh.
D-Ron, mark this down, okay? Get this in writing somewhere. Save the clip, whatever you have to do. If Nebraska football wins the Big Ten West, I will give you a $50 gift certificate to Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul.
That's a fact.
I will do that. Okay? Write that down.
It'll be 25 for me and 25 from Austin.
There you go. Courtesy of On the Block if Nebraska wins the Big Ten West. Write it down. Hold us to it. We're out polling for it.
And then all you would need to do for me is bring me, if that doesn't happen, and listen, I'll even give you 2 losses because you have to at least. So really, I'll give you 3. I'll give you 3 losses, and you just have to bring me some Stricken, some Southern Sweet Heat from
Okay.
Mary Ellen's. So that's a good trade-off. You get 50, and I get 15, maybe $12. You know what I'm saying? That's a good bet.
You still win.
If you want it, let us know on the Honda Lincoln text line 402-464-5685. Say it's a bet. Stricken for me, 50 for you. Okay.
Okay, so I asked what you're most excited about for Nebraska football. Strick, you've given a lot of things that you're wondering about. So I'm going to answer that question second. Text line, the question for you is, what are you most curious about for Nebraska football this year? Go over your list again, some of the things you're curious about for Husker football.
I'm curious about how the line's going to do. They were very bad, but yet they return a lot. So what type of improvement's going to happen there? I'm curious about the returning people. For Prohaska, for Ferdone, for Heinrich. Was it Heinrich or Reimer? Or both of them?
Henrich is not starting, it appears.
Ooh, because it was Chief. Who is it?
John Bullock in his place.
John Bullock. Okay, so no Heinrich, but Reimer.
Reimer's there.
How the linebacker core is going to hold up with this new change of going to the 3-5. The 3-3-5. So those are a list of those things that I want to see. Want to see accuracy out of Jeff Sims. Want to see poise. Want to see running movement, and that only happens in the trenches. So those are some of the things that I'm keeping an eye on that could maybe give them a little bit of success and hopefully a lot more wins to where we can celebrate at Barry's.
The first thing that I'm curious about is what Matt Rule brought up in his pregame press conference. We're not fair catching kickoffs, is what he said.
What?
That's what he said.
Finally. I got tired of seeing that, Austin. I mean, they're waving. I mean, there's like 20 yards of space. Oh, let's wave. No, let's get we need some field position, baby. Yeah.
So much of that is on blocking, but here's the other thing, Strick. It's about vision and creativity too, right? That's why I love the idea of having a couple running backs returning kicks. Emmett Johnson and Ramir Johnson are the guys that are slated to be back there for Nebraska returning kicks. I think those are great options. Haven't seen much of Emmett Johnson. We kind of know what Ramir Johnson is at this point, but home run threats like that, guys that once they get past that first line of defense can take off and go.
Yeah.
That's what Nebraska needs. Matt Rule said, we're here to play football, not stand football, not watch football. We're here to play football. Sometimes we'll get it out to the 25. Sometimes it'll be the 18 or 19. And we've seen those 5, 6, 7 yards come back to bite Nebraska in the shorts too many times. But I think this really fits in with the playing fast mentality, right? Get the game going, get the juices flowing. And I think it also goes to, something I talked to, asked Evan about in our segment with him was, how does Nebraska respond to adversity, right? Being 5 or 6 yards behind where you would have been with a fair catch is maybe a little bit of adversity, but it shouldn't be that much. And yet I think so often the reaction is, oh, why are we starting this far back? What a bad decision. We're already behind the chains.
Right.
It's still first and 10. It's not like you have a 5-yard penalty. So you have to still get to the, 35-yard line. No, you can get to the 28 instead of the 35 for your first down. Nebraska needs that field position like you were talking about. It needs to get the ball in its playmakers' hands. Now, the hope is that Nebraska only fields 12 kickoffs all year, maybe 13, right? Just because the defense is perfect. They don't allow any scores. So they just receive either the opening kickoff of the game or the opening kickoff of the second half. That's unrealistic. Nebraska's playmakers in Ramir Johnson and Emmett Johnson should have plenty of opportunity to return kicks. If it's 6 yards deep in the end zone, okay, let it go. But if you can catch it with a running start, you see where your blockers are, who might have an advantage, and you start angling it that way, take it out. Give it a chance.
I'm still an advocate for put your best, most hungry people on the field. I don't care if they're starters. I don't care. If you're hungry and you want to win, that means you're going to put bodies on people. You're just not out there for show. I'm tired of I understand that people are here. They've come, and you try to get other people into those positions because you're trying to maybe save. But I'm an advocate of there's tremendous value in the kicking game. We've seen teams that have won, that have success because they have great special teams, and they know how to turn and flip the field. They know how to do all of that, and those guys are hungry to do it. I'm an advocate for that. Put the best people out there, period.
We have one texter say they're excited about special teams, not necessarily curious about it. Craig says the same thing for punt returns, right?
Yeah.
Punt return hasn't been nearly as exciting since DeMornay Pearson-L was back there. But how many times, Strick, did we see Nebraska, like you're talking about with kickoffs, fair catch it with 10, 15 yards of space?
Yeah.
Even if they only have 5 yards of space, if you catch it and fall forward, right, but still get tackled.
Yeah.
Again, we said, being backwards 5 yards doesn't necessarily or shouldn't necessarily make that big a difference. But if you can catch a punt and fall forward, run forward 2 steps before you get tackled, maybe, just maybe, those extra 6 feet come in handy somewhere down the line. What does it hurt?
Nothing at all. Nothing. It can only, to me, it's only can help. But I think they had seen so many fumbles, drops, losses on the kicking game that they just like, let's just get the ball. There could be a frustrating part of the game is just, just secure the ball and let's, work our way down. But I think it does a disservice as well.
You brought up discipline in that first hour as well with the defensive back specifically. Texter 8888 says he's curious how many fewer dumb penalties Nebraska has this year. It better be a lot less. But to your point on discipline, Strick, I think the coaches are going to make their returners' lives easier by saying, go catch the ball, go return it. Not giving them a choice of, do I return it? Do I fair catch it? Getting them caught in between. I think some of discipline now will be, coach wants me to go catch this ball. I'm going to go catch this ball.
Okay. So here's the disciplinary part of that would be, put your heels on the 8-yard line, on the 10-yard line. If this ball in any form or fashion, I understand that we don't want to get locked into the ball at the 2, but by percentage or by that, this is why we're taking chance. We would much rather you not feel that ball, somebody bearing down on you, you take it, get hit, and then fumble. But we would much rather let the bounces fall where they may. You plant your feet on this 8-yard line or on this 10. If it goes anywhere above your head, let it go. That's discipline. We saw a couple of times where guys floated back, undisciplined, caught the ball, ends up at the 5 or the 3.
That's a problem.
Those are problems. So that's where I would create discipline. Go catch every ball as long as it's sideways or forward. Anything that you have to drift, let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Something else someone is curious about. Action Jackson says, most curious on how the 3-3-5 defense is going to work in the Big Ten. Do the Huskers have the players to implement it to a high degree, to the level it needs to be? I think that's a curiosity for a lot of people, Strick. It's not something Nebraska's seen before. Wisconsin's doing something similar up there as well. Text line, I know you'll let me know if I'm wrong, but my impression of this defense and what Nebraska, Tony White, Corey Campbell, the strength coach, have been talking about is Husker speed isn't replacing being tough, being physical, still hitting guys. I liken it to, again, what my perception is of the defensive scheme change in the 90s, right? Where they're still hitting you hard. They're coming after you. They're popping you in the mouth, but you move your linebackers down to defensive end. You move your safeties and corner or safeties primarily down to linebacker so you can get faster, right? Nebraska for so long, again, my interpretation of it was the more physical team, right? Big, strong, farm kid mentality sort of thing. But to catch up with Florida State, to catch up with Miami, to catch up with Florida, you had to combine that physical nature with some speed.
Yeah.
That's what Michigan's done, right? Ohio State maybe more on the speed side. Iowa, former Wisconsin, Minnesota, more on the physical side. Maybe Nebraska hasn't gotten stronger, tougher, not pushed around as much. I don't think changing the focus to speed is a bad thing. I think it echoes what Nebraska had to adjust to in the 90s to take a next step.
So for me I think it needs to be a readjustment. I think it went to a very soft. It went to a very West Coast style with Callahan. I think it went with Riley just to a very still Westerns. For some reason,
West Coast.
We've been West Coast dominant in the mentality, the softness. It's like they wanted to have the sexiness about it, but it wasn't sexy. What Michigan did was, we're going to stop trying to speed for speed compete with Ohio State. We're going to make them adjust to us. We're going to go power football and beat the brakes off of you.
Yes.
I think Nebraska needs to take that blueprint. Go back to what Nebraska used to be, and that's look you square in the face and say, I'm about to pancake you, pound you, and propel you 15 yards back before I'm done dealing with you. You know what I'm saying?
And yet they'll still run around you.
You know, that's the mindset we used to have. I think Nebraska's got to get back to that. I think they've got to get back to that physical style, that physical way of themselves, both with combination of speed. But I think, especially on the defense, they need to get back to swarm mentality. Don't leave anybody one-sided on the island. And this is why I say strength and power need to be in the gaps. Meaning, if you're Hutchmaker or you're
Robinson,
Ty Robinson,
Gunnarsson, Lenhart,
any of those
Buckley.
guys, if the flow of it's coming your way, or you see pulling guards, I need you to get up in there, wall up, and just drop down and boom, and lay some boom on people. Take that option out of them. Don't give them. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about getting in the gaps. Don't let two push you. You stand strong in gaps. That's where the strength have to come from. If you're going to play 3-3-5, that's what it's got to be. If you're slanting, if you're head over, if your nose tackle head over the center, your gaps to the right, you slant, you get in that gap and you get big and lock it down. Make that running back to veer. Don't let no hole just open up right there. That's what I'm talking about. Now, once you've done that, you've done your job outside defensive end, leverage in, boom. You hit, you hold, and you separate. Are you going to turn in? I've done my job. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to make this tackle. I've done my job. Now linebacker running inside out. Linebacker should be, if Hutchmaker or Ty Robinson, boom, solid in the middle, leverage outside, no movement, but up, just in case he tries to bounce, turns in, inside out linebacker should be tearing him a new frame. That's what it should be. That's what I'm talking about discipline and also physicality. If there's any movement, or you have to drop down, or you have to get laid on your back, you're in trouble. And that's what I'm watching for Nebraska on the defensive side.
I'll even throw the defensive backs in there. Your job is to not get blocked and to set the edge. Get off a wide receiver's block. Don't let them cut it back. How many times have we seen Iowa run that kind of wide zone stretch play? The running back cuts it back. Defensive back gets sucked way too far inside, hasn't set the edge. It's impossible for someone to help him out.
Or those those wide receiver screens. Good cornerbacks read, react, and they're upfield quick. And and you don't even get a chance to catch and set your feet and get upfield. You're him. That's what I'm that'll tell me how good Nebraska is going to be when I see stuff like that.
American Nightmare asked a couple times, do you think Nebraska would switch to a 4-3 or a 5-2 against Minnesota if they're running the ball? Absolutely not. Here's the thing. Tony White's a stud defensive coordinator. He's high on people's lists. He's going to get a shot to be a head coach probably sooner than later. He's confident his scheme and what it's doing. But I also think this goes back to what we're saying about the combination of speed and power, right? The defensive line has to do its job, but the hope is that an experienced linebacker in Luke Reimer is freed up enough and has learned enough to not get blocked by a guard. Right. That Chief Borders, MJ Sherman, as SEC athletes, can get off a block or, not be blocked to begin with.
Or plug holes just to make sure there's bounce out as opposed to just gaps. Go ahead.
You're not going to go away from this new defense you implemented in week 1.
No,
you're not going to do it. Sir. They know, Nebraska staff knows what Minnesota's identity is and has been, that they'll want to run the ball. They'll be the first team. They won't be the last team to want to do that. They're not going to go away from their scheme in week 1 because think about the message that would send. That would send a terrible message to the players. This is our defense, but I don't know if we're good enough at it yet. So we're going to do something completely different just for this opponent, and maybe we'll put a 3-3-5 in later. Here's the thing. The other important aspect, Strick, is we've heard this is a versatile front. It's confusing. It gives the opponents a lot of looks, right? 3-3-5 is just kind of a base alignment, kind of the personnel groupings, right? But that's why Nebraska wants these bigger, faster guys on the field, so it can look like anything.
And when they're recruiting for 3-3-5, they're recruiting. You can't switch it up because you're recruiting those linebackers, those defensive linemen, those edge guys. You're recruiting for that. You can't change that.
No.
You've been on the phone. You've telling them, oh wait a minute. Oh no, we're that uncertainty in the mind of a recruit in itself is instability, and I don't want it.
Be what you say you're going
to
be. Be men of your word. And here's the thing: if you're good enough at it, you can get away with it. You can afford to continue to be it. We know what Iowa's going to do. We know what Minnesota wants to do. Wisconsin's a bit of a wild card now. We know what Michigan wants to do. They're just better at what they want to do offensively than Nebraska has been defensively. But again, if you get to that point in confidence, maybe it doesn't happen week one, right? But I still think, have faith in Tony White. That's something I'm confident in and excited about. A couple more things that we're excited about before I kind of flip the coin for the next segment. Thunderknock Collins is excited for the first hit. There's nothing like that first crunch of the pads.
I want to hear that woo.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? When a linebacker comes up and fills a hole, or a safety comes downhill after the running back kind of crept through, and then all of a sudden, woo! I want to hear that woo. Yeah, where you hear that clack so much that even the announcers is like, woo. I want to
watch out.
I want to hear that woo.
Tristan Alvano, fanboy Thunderknock Collins, the first field goal. Wishing the young man the best.
Yeah.
In the first W. We'll give our record predictions tomorrow. That's called a teaser. So tune in tomorrow because we will be the last show before pregame coverage. We'll give our Nebraska football record predictions for that.
I mean, you guys are awesome on the text line. We wish we can get to all of them, but just know and note that we have seen them. We'll try to express as many as we can, but my goodness. Thank you.
We need to take a break here. I think this is a good conversation. We're going to keep it going. So either what you're excited about, what you're curious about, we'll kind of wrap up with that when we get back. But the next two questions I have for you, really the biggest question, what are you most worried about with this Husker football team? What are some of those elements that make you think, I'm not sure. This could come back and bite us. What are you worried about for Husker football? Let us know that, what you're curious about, what you're excited about, all that and more on the Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685 or on any of our streams. Drop a comment. We'll get to more Keep the Husker football conversation going next.
Proud to be voted Best Vape Shop.
Generation V
is thrilled to announce our newest location is now open at 27th and Superior.
Generation V.
Explore the largest selection of vape, Delta 8, Kratom, all your favorite brands of disposables, e-liquid, and premium THCA flower.
Generation V.
We'll guide you through our extensive collection to help you find the perfect fit.
Generation V.
With locations in Lincoln, Omaha, Seward, York, Kearney, and Beatrice. Visit our newest store now open at 27th and Superior in Lincoln. GenerationV.com. E-cigs contain nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
General contractors, business owners, property owners. The success of your business requires doing business with the right people. And the right people, when it comes to drywall, acoustical ceilings, and specialty products, are at Premier Drywall. Kevin and his crew will give your project the response and attention it deserves.
You'll get all of the attention to detail and quality that you would expect from someone who's been in the business for 30 years. For your new builds, build-outs, or renovations, reach out to Kevin. Kevin at PremierDW.com. Premier Drywall in Lincoln.
Summer is near. Now's the time to clean or replace your furnace filter to get the most out of your AC. Find energy-saving tips at les.com/save-energy.
Arnold's Tavern in Havelock is the place to be this summer and the best place in town for shuffleboard. Come on Wednesdays and learn from some of the best players in town for the Shuffleboard Corner. Come on Sundays for Open House League all day starting at 11 a.m. and enjoy $3 tall boys and $3 wells. Shake off the start to the work week with karaoke on Monday nights. And don't forget, happy hour is every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and you are always welcome to bring in your own food. Arnold's Tavern in the heart of Havelock.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today.
I'm ready.
Burgers?
Check.
Chips?
Check.
Icy cold beer?
Check. Except this one.
I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread?
I can't stop eating it.
Rico,
relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today. Found in most local grocery stores.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings. You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today. Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Get ready for an unforgettable night at Ignite Lincoln 15. On September 14th, Rococo Theater will come alive with captivating stories from diverse voices that inspire change and spark connection. You'll hear from 12 passionate speakers, including our 5 nonprofit finalists, who are making a real impact. Be part of this remarkable event that celebrates the power of storytelling. Secure your spot now by purchasing tickets at ignitelincoln.org and join us in creating a brighter future together. Don't miss your chance to experience Ignite Lincoln 15, a night of inspiration, community, and possibility.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies, but it will be hazy and smoky today. We'll see an afternoon high of around 87. Tonight, partly cloudy and hazy with a low of around 63. And tomorrow, we'll see most sunny skies again with lingering smoke and haze. High should be around 86. Meteorologist Kyle Butler, 93.7 The Ticket, and theticketfm.com.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Talking plenty of Husker football here on the block as we are. Let me do some quick math. 27 and a half hours from kickoff at this point between Nebraska and Minnesota up in Minneapolis. Wasn't a math major, journalism major. If any of you are better at math than me, let me know if I was right or wrong. I'm Austin Norman. He's Eric Strickland. Couple things to get to, Strick, before we get to what are we worried about. Something someone's curious about is if Nebraska is going to blitz more and blitz consistently. To me, this is where I hope they do. We had a question about will Nebraska go away from the 3-3-5 if Minnesota runs the ball a lot. I don't think Nebraska can afford to go away from an attacking identity. So often from Nebraska, we've seen bend, don't break, bend, don't break, bend, don't
That's
break.
a fact.
It's a tough way to make a living in teams that will hit you with body blows and body blows and body blows because you will eventually break. Nebraska did so little to change the tempo and the cadence of games over the past, really feels like a decade, that I hope Tony White blitzes. We saw more of that with Bill Busch toward the end of last season. Let your best athletes, who should be on defense, go make plays. That's what they're there for.
Well, you haven't been able to get any pressure, especially off the edge. So you've got to figure out a way to create pressure. We found that the more time, the more space and opportunity that you allow a team or a quarterback. I don't care if you're an average quarterback. If you're an average quarterback and you have time to scan, observe, wait, get off of 1, get off of 2, find 3, dump off on 4. I mean, if you got that kind of time, anybody can have a great night on you, right? And that's what it seemed like at Nebraska. It seemed like guys were just been back there like, da-dee-da-dee-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, you're open. Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what it seems like it's been. It used to be, man, I remember, I can go back and just remember the Peyton Manning the Nebraska against Tennessee game. Peyton Manning, one of the best quarterbacks in the country at that time. He was killing. He had great receivers, and they were just bombing people. We're playing them. There's worry there, but we know we've had good rush protection. And it was the best thing to watch Peyton Manning drop back. And he was back there looking like, you ever seen the movie Happy Feet?
Seen the movie Happy Feet.
He was back there looking like he had the Happy Feet going, and boom, sack. He didn't like that. Danny Warfel, those guys like that, they didn't like that.
Colt McCoy 2009.
They didn't like that. The pressure that those guys was putting on them. That's what I think you got to get back to. That's an intimidating factor. It's a lot more difficult to stand back in that pocket saying in your head, oh, I got to get this thing out, as opposed to sitting back there and knowing, I've got a cocktail, a little sex on the beach, and my feet are up on the couch. Oh, it's time to throw it. I can stand up and throw that. Let's go, man. That's what I want. I want to change that. I want the pressure. Let's bring the smoke.
I hope it happens. I'm curious to see if it will. Okay, now the big question. We've asked what you're excited about, what you're confident in, what you're curious about. The bummer, not to end the show like this. We know we still got some time left, but just because I'm curious, fans, what do you think? Strick, what do you think? What's the biggest worry you have about this Nebraska football team this year?
Two things. One, getting off to a bad start. Like it's okay to lose a good game. Like we've gotten comfortable with losing that, and that's not good. But I'm saying, new regime, play your tail off, leave it all on the field. Let the coins fall where they may. What I'm hoping doesn't happen, because this is what you've started to see. You've started to see guys come to a point where, when is it going to happen? You've got a 10-point lead, 14-point lead, third quarter, mid-third quarter. Stuff has gotten stagnant. You're just kind of on edge waiting for, when's it going to happen? When's the turnover going to happen? When is the interception going to happen? When is the fumble going to happen? When is the shank kick going to happen? You know what I mean? When is the big play where it's going to tip off the hat of the defensive back and into the arm? When, like, there's going to be those moments. That's the thing we have to overcome, not only as a fan base, but also as a team, because a lot of those guys, that's why I think it was so important for that Iowa game to win last year. Hopefully a lot of those players that did remain understand what that felt like and can move that over into this year and then not lose those type of games, because there's understanding that we need to break through.
Big plays are big plays. Touchdowns are touchdowns, and you can't necessarily mitigate their importance, but every team scores points. Every team turns the ball over, some more than others for sure. But Strick, so often it seems like just normal football has sent Nebraska into a tailspin.
Yeah.
And it can't recover. And that can't happen. That worries me. hopefully this coaching staff has gotten a message through to these guys, and I don't want to say bought in, but they've had that mindset shift to where little things going wrong, or, the other team scores a touchdown, you go 3 and out, whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't sink this team. Nebraska has been so good at getting off track, derailed by, little twigs that, most trains could just run right over and not notice, but the Nebraska train starts falling off the tracks, and then vice versa. So many other teams are just like toy trains. Okay, they fall off the tracks, you pick them up, you put them back on. With Nebraska, it's been like, full on steam engine, where it takes legitimate cranes to get them back on track.
Yeah.
And I'm worried there's still going to be some of that in this team this season.
That's where it is. Let's move on.
I think some of that is in the fans as well. Disc Golf Jake said the words excited and hopeful, but I read worry in this. He says, I'm excited to hopefully not be perpetually hurt week in and week out like a toxic relationship. So you're worried that Nebraska football is going to be the same old, Disc Golf Jake is how I take that.
Yeah.
And I think that's fair.
That's fair.
Let's see. American Nightmare says, nervous about getting blown out and people calling for rules firing after game 1. We better be past that as a fan base, right?
Yeah.
As Nebraska fans, we have to be past that, right? For so long, things were so good, or at least good enough to keep us at bay as a fan base, generally speaking. I'm hopeful, I'm curious, Strick, to see if the Nebraska fan base has gained any perspective from the last decade.
Well, that's what we're going to find out. It's right around the corner. So we're going to find out very soon.
1319 says he's worried or nervous, but excited about the defense, wide receivers, and offensive line. Defense we touched about.
Yeah.
Are you worried about the wide receivers?
I am. I mean, I think I've expressed it from the point of, we talked about Marcus Washington. We talked about, we don't know who really is 1A. We know that over the last few years, we've had Trey Palmer and then Teray before him that were shining stars. We don't know in this group who that could be. You hope Marcus Washington would be one. He's coming off of injury. You hope that any of the slot receivers what's key from, is it
Kemp?
Yeah,
from
Kemp the
Virginia.
fourth, right? Kemp. You hope Kemp is in that group. But then you've lost like Betts, who has potential. Malachi Coleman's probably not fully ready.
Jalen Lloyd probably not fully ready. Jaden Doss, we'll see.
You know what I mean? So I don't know who's going to be able to create separation, and we'll find out, because these tests are going to be good tests early. Minnesota, Colorado, they're going to have great DBs at Colorado, so don't get it twisted. So that's where my apprehension comes from, is who's going to be able to create separation from a quarterback who lacks in accuracy in the past. Maybe he's gotten better, and how that's going to bode well or not well for the team.
I'll take the offensive line, and feel free to give your thoughts. I am worried about the offensive line, kind of for the inverse reason of Minnesota, right? Nick had a Minnesota writer on saying Minnesota's line is inexperienced, but it's old. A lot of guys in their 4th, 5th, even 6th years on campus.
Yeah.
Nebraska has an older offensive line, an experienced offensive line, but it hasn't been good experience. Turner Corcoran thrown in the fire as a freshman. Bryce Benhart had the world thought of him, hasn't produced consistently. Teddy Prohaska played 4 good games. He's being anointed as the next guy, if he's even healthy. Ben Scott from Arizona State, I'm probably the most confident in. Nuri Nwili, back off his suspension, hasn't played football in a year. What does he look like? Ethan Piper, is he an all Big Ten honorable mention guy? Is he just a guy? What is he? My worry with the offensive line, Strick, is that they're old, and typically the older a guy is, regardless of the level of the sport, the older a guy is, the more likely you are to know what he is. And what we've seen from Nebraska is that the line hasn't been dependable. It's had moments, but moments aren't enough. It hasn't put together a full 60 minutes. It hasn't put together even 36 minutes of time of possession consistently. So in a normal situation, I would say, yeah, I think it's good we know the names. Why can't these guys get better? But you say that about sophomores who are becoming juniors, not juniors becoming seniors, seniors going into their 6th year. Maybe Donovan Raiola and Marcus Satterfield have worked together to form a cohesive plan that gets the offensive line on the same page, but more importantly, in the same mindset. I just don't know how possible or likely that is, especially game 1.
You're on point. You're on point. I don't think you missed the mark with that statement.
2737 says, more worried we won't be able to stop the run. I'm seeing a lot of that from the text line. I would love to know if you're worried about them in Nebraska not being able to stop the run. Are you worried about it because of the 3-3-5 or because of the personnel? If you're worried about it because of the scheme, I would say hold your horses. Tony White's been here. There's a reason he runs this defense. He likes it. He's seen plenty of good running backs before. The personnel aspect I can understand for a similar reason, right? Ty Robinson's been on campus, hasn't flashed. Nash Hutmacher kind of feels like it's now or never. Same with Blaze Gunnerson. Cam Lenhardt is a freshman. How does he hold up later in the year? The linebackers have been banged up. I mean, Henrich might be missing game 1. Reimer's worn down by the end of the year. Borders and Sherman haven't played a full season at linebacker. And Jay's talked about this on Old School Strick. The DBs have gotten run over by Nebraska's running backs in practice. So I would be more worried about the personnel not stopping the run than the scheme.
There you go. You're my guy. There's not much I can add to that. I agree. I'd love to hear from the text line as well as how they view it and why. Because I've seen those gash moments and I understand your mind and the psyche on it, but at the same time, I get it. I don't think it's scheme. I think it's going to be personnel more so.
We'll wrap up the segment with this. 4491 touches on the pass rush that you brought up, saying Nebraska hasn't had it in a while. Who's likely to be Nebraska's best pass rusher? If you have any names in mind.
Let me ask a question. What ended up happening with our last year's leader?
Garrett Nelson went to the NFL. He's not around.
Okay. How is he faring in the NFL?
He just got cut from the Dolphins roster.
You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
I said that. Mm-hmm. He should have come back this year and been the guy. I thought it was a bad move for him to leave. I don't think he was ready. He didn't have that kind of. What about O'Shawn?
He did make the Rams 53-man roster, but he was hurt all preseason.
Okay. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I thought more so, definitely,
Garrett Nelson
should have come back.
Yeah.
I thought it was a big mistake. But, guys make their decisions and they make their moves.
Your returning leading pass rushers are Ty Robinson and Quentin Newsome, each with 2 sacks apiece.
Yeah.
That's not a lot coming back. We have a vote for Princeville Uman Mielen as the leading pass rusher. He's been banged up this spring.
I think he's got a chance to be. I like his skill set.
I do too. The opposite side of him, Cam Lenhardt. It seems like Blaze Gunnerson's going to get the start against Minnesota, but watch out for Cameron Lenhardt, who's gotten rave reviews all camp. And again, I know we've been down that road before with guys that play well in spring ball or in fall camp. Maybe I'm, got my scarlet and cream glasses on, but I think Cam Lenhardt has a chance to be good. The most important part, though, like we've been talking about, Strick, is Tony White's scheme, right? It would be nice to have that dominant pass rush that you can get home with 3 or 4 guys consistently, but on any given play, you don't know who the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys that are coming after the quarterback will be.
Yeah.
I want Nebraska to have more sacks this year than it did last year, but I don't think a single player puts up double digits unless someone really pops off the page and proves me wrong. I just want to see more guys with 4, 5, maybe 6
or a
sacks.
combination.
Yes.
Or a combination of guys that add up to 16 or 17. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, one of the starters maybe has 4 or 5, and then the guy behind him has 3 to 4. And then I would love to see that. Just somehow, let's get up there. Let's get up there close to the 20 range.
Absolutely.
Even with the linebackers, I don't care.
Oh, yeah. Throw them in there. He's Eric Strickland. I'm Austin Norman. This is On the Block. We got one final break to take. We'll see if the old school guys are connected down at Barry's. Maybe we'll cross it over. Maybe we'll wrap it up in studio. Find out next.
It's not often a man wakes up and says, I feel the best I have in years. We hear this all the time at Limitless Mail, and it can happen to you when you go to Limitless Mail and get a blood test to see what your body is missing. That's how simple it is. Schedule a free consult with Limitless Mail. Discuss your symptoms. Do the blood test. If your lab results say you're low in testosterone, we can fix that. Age is just a number. You can feel your best again. Just ask Limitless Mail.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and they've scouted out the best Kawasaki side-by-side deals for you. Score up to $2,500 off the 2023 Kawasaki Teryx and up to $1,000 off Mule Pro FX and FXCs. Whether you want to handle the toughest task in a trusted, tried and true mule or looking to dominate adventure in a Teryx, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of Kawasaki side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down. Offer valid 9/30/2023. Subject to change without notice. Offer available on approved purchases of select new unregistered Kawasaki vehicles. Model and year exclusions apply. Cannot be combined with promotional retail financing rates. Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Sauter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
If you have concerns about your drinking water, just call Bryant. If your water doesn't look right, smell right, or taste right, Bryant can help. If your water has high levels of iron, Bryant can help. If you're tired of foggy dishes and dingy clothes, Bryant can help. Whatever your home water needs are, Bryant is here with a solution to fit your needs. Be sure about your water. Just call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Relates to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive. Always honest answers.
Ready to upgrade your combine with new technology to make your harvest more efficient, meaning more money in your pocket? The team at Landmark Implement is here to help find the right combine for harvest. Plus, when you purchase a pre-owned combine from Landmark, you are backed by Landmark's extensive parts and service network, along with mobile techs and parts drop-off points to keep you up and running, reducing downtime. View inventory online at landmarkimp.com or stop by your local Landmark to experience the Landmark difference.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Howard. This week's specials through September 5th are $2 off 8-ounce grass-finished sirloins. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, big news, they have 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln.
Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-9462.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wrapping up On the Block on a volleyball day in Nebraska Wednesday. Plenty of good conversation about that and Husker football as well. I'm Austin Norman. He's Eric Strickland. In the background, I hear DP and J getting ready. They are out at Barry's. We'll send you their way here in 5-10 minutes or so after Strick and I are done, and a little commercial break to make sure the fellas are settled. Strick, I want to address this on the text line to wrap up our show. It comes from 0013, who says, I think Nebraska football fans really need to turn down their expectations. New coaching staff, and we don't have the personnel to be a competitive football team. We need to take it as it comes and just hope that Nebraska looks like the team is progressing and getting better. I hear them. I understand it. I also don't want the expectations too low.
Yeah.
Because think about how much change there is in the rest of the Big Ten West. Minnesota, first opponent, loses 2 program stalwarts and a 6-year starting quarterback and a 6-year running back, and they have 2 offensive coordinators. Purdue loses its head coach and loses its head coach. They get a conference rival to be its head coach now, but that means Illinois loses its defensive coordinator, a big piece of its identity. Iowa kept a lot the same, but they're integrating a whole lot of new pieces, and there's legitimate pressure on the Hawkeyes. Wisconsin facing its own pressures in integrating new personnel, integrating a new head coach, offensive and defensive coordinator, new system, new scheme. Northwestern has its own challenges that we've talked about ad nauseum. So while I don't think, and I wouldn't pick Nebraska to win the Big Ten West, this year doesn't have to be a down year because every team in your division, which I think is the realistic goal right now, is focus on your division, be competitive, and win as many of your divisional games as you can. Everyone in the division has questions right now. There's no sure thing.
No, there's not. And that's why I think your expectations have to be, they have to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Don't dumb them down or make them lower than what they should. Always, I guess the motto is always shoot high. And if you don't, you don't make it to space or to the stars, you land on the moon. You know what I mean? And if I'm saying that wrong, you get the gist of what I'm saying, but it's something along that line, right? You always want to shoot high because there are moments that you end up like a Minnesota and you end up winning it when no one expected you to win it. There are times when you're a Northwestern, when no one expected you to win it and you end up winning it. There are times when you are a Michigan State and you're a new coach and no one has an expectation for you to do it, but you end up doing it and doing it well. So I don't ever want to sell them short because it can take just 1 or 2 games just to blow the doors open and confidence goes to another level. So just imagine, just think of what it would feel like if they won these first 2 games. Winning these first 2 games, what it could do by taking you into the next 3. Then you show up at Michigan with 0 or 1 loss and you play well and they turn the ball over like crazy, or they, just nothing's going well for them and you upset them. And look, I'm not saying this as if this is going to, I'm just saying how it can happen. So don't leave yourself short. But it is very possible that they can come into that game 0-4. Or,
Straight up.
you know what I'm saying? It's very possible. So no, well, we hope not. But that's what I'm saying. You just never know to which side, but you don't ever want to put your expectations too low.
You can talk me into Nebraska winning, maybe all 12 games on the schedule, but you can, with some degree of certainty or confidence, talk me into Nebraska winning 11 of the 12 games on its schedule. You can talk me into Nebraska losing 12 out of 12. Our expectations from the outside of the program need to be different than the expectations inside, right? They have to be striving every day to reach that highest level. And I think sometimes we forget that, yes, coaches and players are humans like us. Their mindset and attitude can't be the same as ours as fans. Their expectation has to be different internally. It has to be, like you're saying, striving for that highest level.
Absolutely. You got to always be looking to how you can get better. I've been there. I've been to places where, here in Nebraska, losing 10 games straight, having to deal with the media, having to deal with the fans, having to deal with that. It's not a good feeling. But boy, if you stay your ground, how you can turn it around.
Amen. He's Eric Strickland. I'm Austin Norman. This has been On the Block here on 93.7 The Ticket. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Starter Heyman text line, YouTube stream. Appreciate your involvement as well. We'll be back tomorrow from 2 to 4, bringing you the last non-pregame coverage. Well, it'll be extended pregame. We'll talk plenty of Husker football tomorrow, but for now, we turn it over to DP and Jay. They're out at Barry's. If you're downtown for Volleyball Day in Nebraska, go say hi. They'll bring you old school from Barry's. For Strick, I'm Austin. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Go Big Red.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. SCC's Discovery Days will give you the opportunity to experience SCC firsthand this fall. Discovery Days provide information about SCC's programs of study, how to pay for college, SCC support services, housing, activities, and more. A campus tour and lunch are provided. See your options at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group home, living resources, and job